Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a case about a subcontractor who cut corners to save a few dollars. And because of this, the staircase smashed through the newly installed foam-filled Flexi-Stand concrete block, pinning Antonio Giovanni underneath, causing him to lose his left arm. As a result, his life was forever changed. Our client, Minor Construction, had a contract with the Madonna School for Girls to control and supervise the construction of the school. To complete this project, Minor Construction hired a number of subcontractors. One of those subcontractors was Mid-America, the defendants. The defendants were hired to manufacture and install concrete flooring blocks known as Flexi-Stand. The defendants are the only company that make this product. I'd like you to imagine that you are walking into this brand new, multi-story school for girls. As you enter, you will see a large staircase at the southeastern end of the building. Today, the girls who attend that school use this staircase continuously to travel.
Objection, Your Honor, beyond the scope.
Beyond the scope of what?
Speculative.
This is opening statement. You also have to state the grounds, which you have not done.
Thank you. Today, the girls use this staircase continuously to travel from class to class. But as you will soon learn, there's an ugly tale behind this staircase. Now, I'd like to take you back a couple of years to June 2008. June 19th, 2008, around 3 p.m. to be exact. Antonio Giovanni, a cement worker, is in the basement doing some concrete finishing. He has heard and complained of the strange creaks and noises coming from the ceiling above him, and he's told it's nothing to ignore it. Then suddenly a crash and he's pinned. He's pinned beneath 1,800 pounds of steel. The steel staircase that had been installed just 3 days prior has come crashing through the concrete blocks into the basement, pinning Mr. Giovanni beneath its 1,800 pounds. As a result of this accident, Mr. Giovanni's left arm had to be amputated, leaving him permanently disabled and unable to continue his profession. On the morning of June 16th, just 3 days prior to Mr. Giovanni's accident, the defendants delivered and installed their Flexi-Stand concrete blocks. There is no dispute that the concrete blocks the defendants delivered and installed contained 3 hollow cores, and that these cores were filled with foam. It is also undisputed that these foam-filled blocks appeared to be solid, looking exactly like their solid Flexi-Stand blocks. There was no way to determine, just by looking, whether these blocks were foam-filled or solid. The evidence will show that the defendants provided no warning on these foam-filled blocks that they installed at the Madonna School for Girls. Minor Construction also subcontracted with Accurate Steel Company to manufacture and install the steel staircase, which was delivered and installed the afternoon on the same day the concrete blocks were installed. The evidence will show that the plans called for a steel channel to be placed at the base of the staircase. The purpose of this channel was to evenly distribute its weight. The evidence will show that Accurate Steel Company did not manufacture or install this steel channel. The staircase was installed with the bottom resting directly on the middle of the concrete block, which, as it turns out, was filled with foam. You will hear from Joseph Minor, president of Minor Construction, and from Wilbur Henderson, who was the vice president of Accurate Steel in charge of manufacturing and installation. They will testify that after the concrete blocks were installed, but before Accurate installed the staircase, there was a conversation between Mr. Minor, Mr. Henderson, and Archie Tubbs, the defendant's foreman, where they discussed placing the staircase directly on the concrete block without the steel channel. During this conversation, Mr. Tubbs made no mention of the Flexi-Stand being installed, no mention of the Flexi-Stand they just installed being filled with foam. You will not hear from Mr. Giovanni today. Sadly, he passed away for reasons unrelated to this accident or action. However, before his passing, he gave a deposition under oath. The testimony will show that the morning of the accident, he voiced concern over the grinding noises that were coming from the staircase to his job foreman and to a man he later learned was Archie Tubbs, the project foreman for the defendants. And that in spite of his concerns, the staircase was used all day that day, right up until the time it smashed down on top of him. There will be testimony that Minor Construction allowed the staircase to be installed without the steel channel because the weight of the staircase was well within limits for solid concrete walls. Even though the project was a few days behind schedule, you will hear from Mr. Henderson that the steel channel wasn't even necessary, but merely an added precaution. The evidence will show that Flexistan is strong stuff built to hold bigger things than 1,800-pound staircases. Mr. Miner will testify that he did not know the defendants were installing foam-filled Flexistan. In fact, both Mr. Miner and Mr. Henderson will testify they weren't even aware that anything other than solid Flexistan existed. So what caused this 1,800-pound staircase to come crashing through the Flexistan all the way to the basement? Was it the lack of the weight-distributing steel channel? Was it the foam-filled Flexistan? That's what you are here to determine. You are here to determine who should bear responsibility for the loss of Mr. Giovanni's arm. Is it our client, Miner Construction? They simply contracted with Mid-American for Flexistan, which as solid was more than strong enough to support the steel staircase, which was to be installed. Or Accurate Steel. They admittedly did not manufacture or install the steel channel, but as you will hear, it was merely a precautionary measure with solid Flexistan underneath. Or Mid-American, who manufactured and installed foam-filled Flexistan without any notice to Miner, Accurate, or anyone on the staircase installation crew. We believe and are confident that at the close of evidence, you will believe as well that the responsibility for this horrific accident lies with the defendants. Thank you.